able to get just from the first circle here should be immense. I'm looking at it and expecting a 2-2 split, but I would completely respect a 4-man strong in the high ground compound or the 3-block apartment compound as well. So we'll see what they do and what they decide to do. I don't want to see a big 4-man 4-way split. That would simply be too greedy, and especially here in the last day, I feel like a lot of teams they would be willing to be breaching in first and second circle. So we'll see how that continues out. Intense, one of our he's been doing some career highlights throughout this tournament here, and I'm actually really happy for him because he's been putting in hours. He's been grinding a lot this last 2 years, been putting in effort. Now playing with Apex, and the guys are. We saw some tendencies and some good things from them for PCS3, and now they're really showing what they're coming into our 2021 season. And they really want to start it off with a bang and start with a good thing. And if they can end up in our top 4, top 3, put that amount of points in the bag, there's a very good chance that they should be able to secure themselves a good chance at a spot for PGC 2021.
I mean, 39 kills, that's 39 points instantly between him and Simsy alone. Like, that is a ridiculous number. There's a couple of players, to be honest. Even for Karagumruk, I think it's between Voldemort and Lyron, it's probably up to 38 simultaneously. So it does come down, ultimately, when we're looking towards that top side of the board. And again, you are always going to have these outliers that just play consistent and do pretty damn well. But still, it is a very frag point heavy roster and leaderboard when you're looking towards it. And it's tough at the top. It's as simple as that. And to kind of backtrack on something you mentioned about respecting if Heroic did want to send a full 4-man squadron, I also understand that. You don't want to take too many risks when you're up towards that end of the board, because everyone else, look, the money's there. The money's all nice if you can win it and pick it up and take it. But the points towards the World Championship are that much more important and that much more vital. And Team Liquid, actually, funnily enough, on your screen, this is someone who can kind of throw into the mix here. Currently down in 9th position. Like, for them, that's not good enough. For them, they can throw all caution to the wind. And if they're down still, sub 10th position when we get to that game, 3, game 2, something like that, you're just going to fully commit to it and fully send it. There's nothing else to lose once you get past that kind of, second to third game today. We'll see how it does progress, and we'll see if the aggression does come through for some of these teams. But yeah, certainly up at the top, there could be a little bit more of a few questionable players here and there. And I say questionable of, okay, should we bother doing this? Is it actually worth it? We have to weigh up the odds. We have to see, okay, is the risk reward actually there? Do we just take it, play a steady game, keep consistency in points, and keep towards the top of the table? All the rotations, while I'm talking and banging on and harping on, have now begun. VP, first contact has been made. Appears Perfectix has been spotted. Simsy, simultaneously Intense on his left-hand side. The two current top fraggers of Apex, spotting him out at distance. First tag goes toward the side of Perfectix. Has to be careful. Don't want to overstay the welcome. Totally fine with this one. Back it up and get the hell out.
Yeah, for sure. Reposition already. They're already securing and getting information here. And the question is, do they want to commit already? Looks like they're already taking a compound and they're going for a lot. And Apex is returning a bit of fire. And this one is an interesting one, because this is like the first game of the day for this one is obviously analyzing. Like, how intense is the pressure? How dense is the circle? And how many players is playing edge? How many players is already sending it to the center? And this is the really important one here, because this is going to be an effect for the last one. VP going for the Rainbow compound or the Colors compound that is east of the church. Also a really good one. And Gustav is chilling while I come. On the west side. The question is now, does he relay this information to the rest of the guys on Faceland? All right, I heard 4 cars. They're coming past. You could potentially set up a gatekeep here, but it's pretty obvious where these guys are coming. Like, with the circle, they should be going all the way through Val del Mar, taking the southern road, and be coming in on the south side. So if they do that, I would maybe expect them to either set up a gatekeep or to try and get in front of them as fast as possible, because if they shoot at them, they will just do a full 4-man pull-up, considering how close they are as well. Blaze has set up a 2-2 split as well, close to Los Leones on the western side of things. And we're going to be seeing Apex be gathering some information here. Simsy is the only one driving, as for now. The other Apex guys are setting up shop a little bit different. Shots coming in from Blaze.
Need to keep an eye on that western side, because I think what you did mention might actually be coming into vision here.
Oh.
I can see it in the back that Fuzzface did indeed pull up, and you can see them in the distance now. It looks like FaZe have set this one up, and it's a very big bottleneck. The hills roll straight down now. If Esqui does not turn off here, this could be deadly. The question is, do they let the first one go by? No, they absolutely do not. Yep, Fex has got a kill. Esqui has initially fallen out of the vehicle. The rest of them, though, and that, I suppose, is the only questioning thing. Do you wait for the rest of them to go by and then shoot them in the back? Do you let the first one go? Or do you just take the frag point that's on offer? Ultimately, this time, they've taken the frag point. One player has fallen. Well, I mean, so Forge also has gone down to core off the back of the bike. Rather unfortunate, but you can see how hard this lobby is going to be. Even though it is one team getting the knock, it's Intense who comes from a different one on the flush. August will be just pounding it straight through the middle of the map, but ultimately, this is going to be very costly for them.
And this was actually the one thing here, right? Do you want to wait? If you want to wait, you want to go for the points. But if you do it with the first guy, it forces the three last guys, the guys behind driving, to go on a different route, on a bad route that will delay them even further. And they will have a really bad position and a really bad macro into the next circle. And this is the big factor that you maybe not think too often about, is if you do it with the front guy, that will force the back guys to completely change their strats, and they will do something wacky and crazy, and it will slow down their rotation by many minutes, actually, because their initial plans is changed and they have to completely divert onto something else. And this means that FaZe's rotation will be fine. They will not be backfilled, most likely, unless there's different teams coming in, and they can come into a good spot. So we'll see what if that happens and where Karagumwood ends up. Phase 1 will be closing shortly. We have 10 seconds more, and we will see the next one. And this is the big one, especially in a circuit like this here, because it can change so much, because it can hard shift anywhere. Like Phase 2, you can force a massive macro as well. So we'll see where it goes. And it's actually a extreme east hard shift here. So this will mean that we're going to see potentially a close Los Leones fight or a southern fight. And already ENCE is setting up extremely well for this. They are taking some of the really high prior compounds in a Phase 2 shift like this. So they're off to a fantastic start.
Yeah, the worrying thing about this is that it becomes a little bit too predictable, and teams will start to crunch together on the outskirts of Los Leones. When we think about this, the backside of it is going to be out of it. You have that whole ridgeline that kind of skirts. For a second, I'll pause, because Liquid is well and truly under fire. That vehicle is looking rough as hell. They've already lost one on transition. The rest of them begin to carry on. T-Bone comes back to regroup with the rest of Heroic just in the distance. You'll see him join the ranks any second. Reggie has fallen down and fallen victim while the transitions do go through. The rest of them will begin to pull back. You can see already there are vehicles inside the little garages, so they'll save them for a later game. Novik on the resuscitation to the side of Reggie Beardo, but can't stay for too long because Na'Vi's looking into this one. On the map, you can see just in the little bottom right-hand corner, 2 players of Team Liquid looking onwards of this, thinking, okay, who's up there? What ground is left for us to play? Liquid is in a 2-1 wide, very wide split. Ibby is separated from the rest of the pack on the opposing side of the road, and he does have Blaze breathing down his neck, so he needs to be very, very careful. We live again directly in the middle of all of this. Full 4-man roster, 2-2 split.